Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for watching today. Today is Wednesday, November 30th, and today's topic is about growth. Is your growth intentional or accidental, or a little combination of both? So one saying that always sticks in my mind and has been for a very long time, and I forget what motivational or business speaker said this, but it says that you can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. So overnight, just making some type of change, you can't change your whole destination, like go from one extreme to the next. Like in one day I'm going to be successful in real estate, or I'm going to get into real estate and sell houses and be successful in one day. But you could change your direction. And something I just want to give you three things to keep in mind, three questions to always ask yourself, because right now, over the next couple months, if it's already started in the next year, the market is changing. Sorry to say this, I know it's going to hit some people, not for just changing, to me, towards the better. For some reason, when I talk to other brokers and managers out there, and I said that I'm so happy for this change, they're like, why would you want change? Like, why would you want lower number of sales, lower prices going down in the housing market? Because everything can't keep going up. Change is good sometimes. Sometimes it's good to have some change, or when things go back to normal, in my opinion, normal, or what's more of an average. I feel safer, not to go off on a tangent about of an average, a normal market. I don't like extreme highs, extreme lows, because you're always wondering what's going to happen when extreme lows. When is it going to hit? When is it going to hit? When it's high? When is it going to fall? When is it going to fall in the aspect back down to where it normally should be. I say this to agents all the time, but the reason why I have this topic today is that there's going to be a lot of agents that over the next next year or two are going to see a drop in their production. There's some people predicting that we'll have a 20% drop from next year in the number of sales. So that could obviously affect a lot of people. It's kind of like what I've been telling people when I'm sorry to say that a lot of people didn't get this advice from me a little bit earlier, when people were buying houses over the last few years with over asking price, when they said, should we buy now? And my suggestion was, yes, if you need to buy, you buy. But if you don't need to buy and need to sell within the next couple of years, 2 years, 3 years, you might have a lower price, lower house, lower value. And it all depends upon when you bought your house. To the agents out there, I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent, but I get in this conversation so much about the market the last few weeks and months. But right now, if you talk to some agents that are in the upper market, even a year or two ago, selling $1.5 million, $2 million houses. Those are high price houses in our market, to anybody watching this in other markets. And they saw when these people bought these houses 10, 15 years ago, and it didn't go up that much. It's just that we don't have a market in Ohio, not too many, that you buy 10, 15 years ago, a $1.5 million house. That $1.5 million house is going to turn into a $3 million house 10 years from now. That doesn't happen. I haven't seen it happen. If you watch this, can you give me an example of that happening? It just that value of house kind of keeps its value, but doesn't double. But we have lots of cases of people buying 10 years ago $100,000 houses that were worth $200, $150,000 houses worth $300, doubled their value. So what I'm saying changes with value of homes in our markets. But the point I'm getting it to is that a lot of agents, over the last, their success over the last few years have been a combination of intentional and accidental, just because the market was up there. Now, when the market's not up there, when you have listings that are going to sit for 3, 4, 5+ months, good listings, good homes for sale, just the buyers are not there yet. You got to hone some of your skills. You got to be intentional on how to get those listings. You got to be intentional on marketing those homes. You got to be intentional on how to keep those sellers happy, wondering why it's taking 2, 3, 4 months plus to sell your house. So a lot of agents are not going to be able to handle the accidental, like putting a house on the market, accidentally finding a buyer because the MLS, the market was there. There's 30 people that want to put an offer on a house. That's, to me, accidental. Accidental in that they didn't try, they didn't have really intent, and didn't do anything other than the market was there and got those buyers. And then buyers out there, there's just the swarm. I've seen many agents do very well with some buyers, because the buyers were getting, I got to get in now. The prices are going up. The prices are going up. Or investors, I had investors snatched up all certain values of homes in certain areas, and just agents were falling across investors. I want to get in real estate. I got to get in real estate. See the values going up. See, rates are still low. It's all relative. So that's why I thought this topic would be good. Is your success going to be intentional, or is going to be accidental? So here's some things to ask yourself when wanting to succeed in real estate, is that how far can I really go? Ask yourself that. How far can I really go? How many homes can I sell? And this goes out to the part-time and full-time agents, the agents that have other jobs are looking to sell 2, 3, 4, 5 houses a year. Example, I'm just trying to explain this to agents, is that the average number of sales per agent in the United States is only about 5, 6, maybe 7 houses a year. That's average. If you take the number of houses sold, which at the time, let's say 2 years ago, in the cost, it was like let's say, just I'll run it out, 5 million homes in the United States. There's over 1 million realtors. That's 5 per realtor, 5 homes. Now you could go 2 sides per home. So that boosts up to 10. So that's what I'm saying. 5, 6, 7 is the average number of sales an agent has. That average is going to come down, because there's still going to be about the same amount of realtors, and they're going to still, and the number of homes sold probably next year is going to be less than this year. But the point I'm getting at, one of the points of many points I get it, is that the accidental things are going to leave you first. That accidental, well, wow, people are calling me and referring me to other people, and I'm accidentally getting more buyers because this person's referring me, that person, that buyer bought something, then they talked to their family member, friends, and the market brought in more buyers. And then same with the sellers, accidentally selling a house, which is really, I'm just using that as a term, accidentally, meaning that you didn't market it, you didn't call any agents, you didn't put an ad in any papers, you didn't do any open houses, you accidentally just threw it on the MLS and you got 30 offers on your house. Those accidental business is going to go first. And that's where when you have been relying on that accidental growth, that's when those are the agents that see the biggest drop of business. Because overall, if next year the market's down 20%, if you sold 20 houses last year, that's only 4 less. You're still in business. But if you had a lot of accidental business that you weren't out there finding those buyers, networking, prospecting, you had, if you didn't have listings, if you said, wow, I'm doing great with all these listings and they're selling, you had no skills in marketing and getting those listings sold, though, that's where those agents that sold 20 houses last year and say 15% of the, or 15 of those were accidental, your business might come down to 50% next year because all that accidental business is gone. So hopefully that makes a little sense. But I said, number one is how far can you go? How far can you build your business? Number two is, can you make that directional change now? What are you going to do now to change your direction? Not your destination. You still want to be successful in real estate. What things are you going to do now to pivot, to change your direction in real estate to be successful and not rely on the things that you were relying on before that were accidental? So hopefully that makes some sense there. And last, you got to face your fears of that. So I have agents every day that are fearful for when they see in the news and the interest rates and the economy and the number of houses sold. Gosh, knock on wood, I'm saying I'm not worried at all. We've been through these things, been in the business 30 years. I started our office here 25 years ago. We've been through wars and different presidents and politics and interest rates and economies of, the stock market and all different kinds of things. But the real estate is still there. So the main point, I got lots of points in here. Main point is that the agents that failed or didn't pivot, well, one, the agents that usually fail are the ones that their business was coming mostly from accidental ways. Accidental, one is when I tell agents like, hey, I'm referral only, I get so much business referral only. That's great, but did you get that by accident? And they usually go, what do you mean by accident? People referring you, but you didn't ask for it. Like if you didn't call someone up and say, hey, I need 2 names of your friends or relatives, I'm going to call them right now and find that business. But if people are just coming to you like, oh, my past client referred me with someone, and then another someone I was networking with just call, you're just picking up the phone because you did all the right things, but they came to you, those are going to go slower. And those listings that used to sell left and right, those are going to slow down. You got to change your direction and how you market those properties. And the fear is that you can do it. I've seen it happen. I've had 87% of realtors get out of the business every 5 years. We have almost 100% turnover rate within 6 years, 7 years. It's just the number of, not the same age. It's not every agent like day one, this agent is going to get out in 5 years. That doesn't happen. It's just the number of agents are out there. So I've been in 25 years, I've brought in out of the business, just because when you're such a large company like ours, over 500 plus agents, you turn into a national average. You just do. The more you do, you just turn into that average. But I've seen the agents that get out of the business, the ones that, more importantly, the ones that were successful at one time, that their business fell apart and they got out of the business, or they just got another job or other things. I'm talking specifically about the agents that were successful at one time. And I see it on Facebook. I know I kind of get an idea of some agents, and when there are agents, I call them up and concerned for them, but I see agents that were accidentally in our industry successful. And if they don't pivot, they don't start being intentional with their business, they might be out of the business in a year or two, or their business comes down to a point where they have to get another job. And then when that other job hits, when they were full-time one time, then the real estate business starts to fall. And then lastly, I know I went longer today. The agents that are always there, I'm sorry to say this, I know this people, I'll get some backlash over it. You know, the agents that always stay in the business, that always are in the business, that will always, the part-time agents, the agents that sell 2, 3, 4, 5 houses, the ones that sell under the average, that have another job 9 to 5, and they sold 5 houses last year, and then next year, if the market's where it is, they only sell 3. They're still in business. They're still there. The most agents, my opinion, my experience of over the last 30 years that are at risk are those barely full-time agents. If you are going paycheck to paycheck, commission check to commission check, you don't have much savings and you went full-time, that please call me. I'll help you out. I'll give you some advice. These are the agents that usually get out of the business because all of a sudden that they're barely full-time. They're holding on. They need that X amount of sales they did last year to barely succeed next year. And they're not going to be able to take a hit financially for themselves personally or their family. Then they have to rethink it. Then they panic, they get fearful, they get another job, part-time job or something like that. Then they stop thinking real estate, the real estate goes down and they don't know how to do real estate part-time because they were full-time for a while. These are the agents that are most at risk, in my opinion, of getting out of the business over the next few years. So hopefully that made some sense. I just throwing that together because I wanted to get this topic out from all the phone calls that I've been on coaching agents over the last few weeks and months, and will continue. I think through 2013, maybe 2023 into 2024, because then we're in an election year and everybody's on hold to see what happens with the election. So I think the next 2 years, but there's still a market there. People will be always buying and selling homes. So that's it for today. Sorry to keep you a little longer. Thank you for watching for this Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow on Thursday. Bye-bye.